Okay, I think we're live. We have been having some technical difficulties. Welcome, everyone. We are still trying to fix these little glitches, and I am waiting for Mauricio to join us, but we'll give it a few minutes. I think it's not all on our end, although anything is possible. There's nothing like being all excited to come on and see you all and start the live and then hit that brick wall. That anxiety level goes from way down here to way up here. But it is what it is. The show is going to go on anyway, and we're just going to wait. And I'm going to ad lib a little bit for those of you that have not ever joined us. This is Confidence Strategies 101. And let me see what Mauricio says here on my text. Okay, no, he's still trying. It's on now, I'm telling him. So now we're just going to wait for him and see if he can plug in. We just were having some audio issues, and we don't know why, because this is our 8th week. And actually, we haven't had such a major issue like today, so I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, for those of you that haven't seen our previous 7 weeks of lives, we have been doing this now with the intention of providing you with 2 hosts, 2 different viewpoints, 2 different strategies that we use when we coach and we work with other people, but with one goal in mind, and that is to share our resources, our knowledge, information. We want to be able to provide you with some action steps and tools, whether you're just starting on an entrepreneurial journey or you're a musician and you're trying to sort of learn the ropes. We have, between the 2 of us, a really vast network of professionals and coaches and people that can help you. But we also wanted to have a platform here where we could invite other people and invite other guests. So we're just getting to that pivotal point in our development. And I'm going to check and see if I can flip over here to Facebook and see who's on. If I can check that. Okay, that seems to be working on that end. We're excited about that. And I see that there's 3 people on, but I can't see who it is. So if you're out there, give us a shout out. I'll try to bounce back and forth between the comment section and the live while we wait for Mauricio. It seems like he isn't able to connect now, even though we were connected before. So, it is what it is. It's technology, not my strongest suit, certainly. And it is something that we're just going to have to plow through. The topic for today's discussion is why the best coaches and the best mentors have and utilize the skills and the advice and the knowledge from the best coaches and the best mentors. And there's a reason for that. Part of it is because, one person doesn't know everything and doesn't have the bandwidth to know everything. And so I think the idea that every successful person, now everyone also has a different definition of success. So let's not forget that. But for today's intents and purposes, we're going to talk about success, whatever that means. So every successful person, usually, I don't think I've ever encountered anyone that doesn't have mentors and coaches in their corners and in their corner. And they have champions and they have people that support them and they have like-minded people that are on their team, on their advisory boards, on their board of directors, but also on their personal board of directors, on their personal team. And that's what we're sort of addressing here on our platform. Doesn't mean that we won't talk about advisory boards down the road. And of course, we'll talk about board of directors down the road. But for all intents and purposes, today and for the next few weeks, we're going to talk about the personal team that you build around you to help you accomplish your dreams and your goals. Hi, Ellen. Thanks for joining us again. We are waiting on Mauricio. We've been having some technical difficulties. First it was audio, now it seems like it's audio and visual. So who knows, I may have to do a really short broadcast today, who knows. This was the topic that we were gonna have last week, but of course we were preempted by a lot of things that were happening in the world, that are still happening in the world today. It's not like they've gone away, but it was, we seem to have been caught like in the apex of so much intensity with all the situations around the globe, and just not just COVID-19 anymore. We're talking about the injustices in the world and all the situations that we've been witnessing time and time again. So we try to be flexible and sort of go with the flow, and that's what we ended up doing last week. We didn't have another guest last week. We don't have a guest this week, but I do have some exciting news for you. One way or another, I will share that with you. Let me check who else is on here. We've got Veronica. Oh, thank you. It looks like Facebook is also having some tech issues. So thank you, Veronica. Thanks for the heads up. It could be that this is just a bad tech day. So we might redo this show. We'll see. I'm not used to doing this on my own, so I can talk. That's not the problem. But I'm usually here to bounce ideas off with my co-host, because that's the whole premise for the show. But for those of you that are watching us for the first time, we are Milagro and Mejia, Confidence Strategists 101, or Confidence Strategies 101. I am a CBD educator. I'm a confidence strategist. I'm an entrepreneurist, and I am a former behavioral coach. So we bring our experiences. I bring my life experience, my storytelling, my anecdotes to the platform, as does Mauricio, and we share those. We share our stories, we share our viewpoints, we share the ideas and the things that we've learned. We share our tools. So I think one of the things that we want to cover in this particular episode, which again, it might be pretty short today, I don't know. It's the idea of why do successful coaches and mentors, why do they have, the best ones have the best coaches and the best mentors? But why is that? Why is it that most people who are truly successful don't just go off on their own, and they don't have their team with them? From what I've experienced, the interviews that I've done, the people that I've worked with, and some clients, a lot of it and most of it is because we all realize that we don't have all the answers. Hi, David. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us again this week. As I don't know how long you got on, and I think you just jumped on, but we are having some technical difficulties. We're having some audio and visual difficulties. Mauricio's trying to get on. I'm trying to, nope, he's still trying. So I'll see him if he's able to make it. I'll see him, and of course I'll just have him pop right on, and he'll just join us midstream. But one of the things that I was just talking about was the idea, why do the best coaches and the best mentors have and work with the best coaches and the best mentors? And one of the most common thread that I've experienced and that I've heard and had conversations about is because we don't know all the answers. We don't have all the bandwidth. You can't be every position in your company, for example, if that's what you're building. You could be a solo artist if you're a musician, but you still need someone that's on your team that's going to be the best, engineer and the best, you still have to surround yourself with the best team. So that's the premise, and that's the concept, is the best coaches go to the best coaches so that you can continue to evolve, you learn, you share, you brainstorm. And that's what we're trying to share and show you here. Mauricio and I both work with some high-level executives and different people, but we also haven't forgotten where we came from. And when I say that, in this particular instance, I'm talking about the fact that a lot of us came up through the ranks and we didn't have support. We didn't have resources. We didn't have the network and the tools and the people to go and ask, well, how do I do this? I have no idea how to build a website. I still don't. But, it's just, I haven't forgotten what that felt like when I first left the corporate world and started my journey as an entrepreneur artist. There were so many things that I just had no idea. How do you start an LLC? What's the difference between an S corp and an LLC? Why shouldn't it just be a sole proprietorship? All of these different things. So what he and I discussed when we first came together to create this platform, to create this show, Confidence Strategies 101, was the idea that we want to give back to our community. We work with our clients. We work with our high-end clients. We work with all these different executives and different, people in our network. But we wanted to be able to share. And I am putting words in his mouth right now because he's not here, but we've had this discussion, so I feel very comfortable doing that. But we want to be able to share with you all some of the shortcuts, some of the mistakes that we've made, some of the hacks that we have discovered. Okay, now he is... Visually, I can see him, so I'm going to try to click him in. Mauricio.
Can you hear?
No, I can see you, but we can see you.
Can you hear me?
But we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
So we're getting closer. We are getting closer. I don't know what what the issue is, unless it's just, I don't know. Veronica mentioned that Facebook was also having an issue. She had a hard time jumping on to view us. So I don't know what else to do on our end because everything here on this dashboard looks fine.
Check.
This is a cause for anxiety for me.
Check, 1, 2.
But hey, wait a minute. You can't. Okay, Ellen says she can hear you. So I'm the only one that can't hear you, perhaps. Well, that'll be in. Okay, so Veronica says, yep. Okay, so everybody else can hear you, but I can't hear you.
I think you check your settings too. On your, well, you can't.
I'm gonna have to try to read your lips.
No.
Okay, now I just have to laugh because this is funny and I don't know what to do about it. Interesting. Yep, everybody else can hear you, but I can't. I'll tell you what. What if we develop our own code right now?
Yeah, no.
I'll throw the question to you, and when we're done speaking, we just give each other the thumbs up. How's that?
No.
I don't know what else to do. I have to laugh because otherwise I'd be having a total meltdown.
All right.
Let me try something. Let me try one thing. Hold on. Nope. Oh, wait. I heard something. Mauricio?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh my gosh, I can hear you.
Yeah, you probably had the speakers off on your computer.
No. I had everything on the same way. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just move forward so I can just press here.
All right.
All right. So
it looks like I'm asleep here on this. My eyes are wide open. It looks like I'm asleep. So
that's okay. We'll get down the road. We'll get the proper lighting and all of that. But Mauricio, so as you know, we talk about this before we go on. The topic today is the best coaches. Why do the best coaches and mentors have the best coaches and mentors? So I'm going to just sort of jump into what we should have been talking about 5 minutes ago is how many coaches do you have, Mauricio, and why?
So that's a great question. And I have about, I I have about 10. I have a list of what I call my team. I've showed you my organized list of how I keep myself organized. So
Exactly.
anyone that I do business with, I consider my mentor or a coach, just because we're doing different types of businesses. So, and you want to find the expert that in that lane. For example, in real estate development, I have a business partner and a coach who is my mentor on that, who keeps me sharp and keeps me up to date. In the staffing, I have a team of people that are around me in my speaking engagements or in my books. I have people that are part of my team. So, so for me, in order for us to continue to be sharp in the different things that we do, we have to associate ourselves with the people that are in those lanes so that we can learn off of them. And then that's how we continue to get better moving forward.
Right. Agreed.
So yeah. So for me, I mean, but like, paid coaches. I mean, I don't really have any paid coaches. I have mentors that work. I'll hire consultants for my business. Yeah. And because they're specialized in that lane. And then what I do is I just listen very good when I'm working with people. So I want to be able to learn at the same time as we move forward.
Right. And I would have to say my answer to that is it's similar. Of course, I always learn from different people that I work with. I want to surround myself with people that usually know more than I do on a certain topic, because that's how I grow. I'll give you the perfect example. I think you and I talked about this in my band. Every single person that I hired in my band was 10 times the musician that I was at the beginning. Now that was stressful. I mean, I was stressed just a few minutes ago with this tech thing, but no, being in a band where you know that every single person is 10 times the musician that you are, that is stressful. But it forced me to catch up real quick. And it also forced me to draw from within, right? We talk about confidence all the time. I couldn't have done that if I didn't have the confidence that I knew I had to play catch up, but it was still my band. It was my project. So that's one thing that I personally do is I always try to surround myself, not with people, and this is not a diss to anyone, but I want to be surrounded by people that I look up to, that I have to catch up to them, because that is what's going to pull me out of my comfort zone and make me grow. I have 3 coaches right now that I'm working with. One is financial. She has been, there's a lot that I do know, but there's so much that I don't like about finances, and I have to force myself to learn it. And she's great because she gets me. Right.
Yeah.
And I have a real estate coach as well. She's 40 years in the business. She's phenomenal. She is like a walking encyclopedia about the trends in real estate and all of that in the Bay Area. And then I always have my vocal coach. So as you know, I've been singing for a long time, but I still work with the best people in the industry to keep my chops up, because you never know when I might decide to start getting back into music.
I was doing a little research on you, and I found some of your YouTubes, and I was like, whoa! I was really impressed. Some of the videos are kind of, they're fun to watch because it's like so 80s, but
well,
but I love it. I'm like, wow, the music is amazing. So
thank you.
I had to dig in. I was like, let me find out how deep Carmen is in on the web. So,
That's
but no, that was fun.
Because that was during the time where we hadn't really had that much contact. I mean, it was during that time, because I went off and did my thing, and you went off and you did your thing, and we still saw each other, of course, here and there. But so, out of all your coaches that you do work with and that you talk to and that you're on a continuous basis, and this is a tough one, and you don't have to answer it. I don't want to put you on the spot or get you in trouble.
No. Good.
But do you have a favorite coach? And if you do, why is that specific coach your favorite?
I like them all equally, but there's other conversations like Ray Reese, for example. Can you see me? Can you guys hear me? Ray Reese is one of my favorite mentors and coaches. He's actually the one that introduced me to Stedman, and he's been in. He was just here in town yesterday, and every time he comes, and because he's based out of Southern California, when he comes into town, I always feel like he grounds me because we get to have high level conversations about real things and real conversations. And when you have real intelligent conversations, you're stimulating a part of your mind that you don't really get to tap into that much. And especially right now, I mean, with the way that things are, the social interaction, people are weird right now. And that's okay. I get it. I mean, the world is upside down right now, but it's
yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a little off right now, and it's the air is just weird, and I just my horoscope today just said stay home today. Don't try to do anything big. Just relax. I've been dealing with my phone for the last 2 days. I got it wet while I was out on the bay. I mean, and that stresses you out, and you're like, you know what? I got other things to be stressing about. These are little things. So,
right.
But yeah, no. But one of my favorite people to talk to is Ray, because we can have some pretty intellectual conversations. And then when you talk, I have another group of people that I do business with on a regular basis, and when you just talk business and you stimulate your mind to think, that gets the endorphins going. So yeah, next week's gonna be fun because I get to have Stedman on my show, and that's gonna be fun because he's like big brother to me. Like we have those conversations when we talk, and that's pretty fun to hear a person of that kind of intellectual caliber have a conversation and talk about the things that I really like leadership and moving forward, and how do we adapt with today's times. And that's what we're going to be talking about next week is the leadership stuff, and then how do we adapt, using our technology now.
Oh, sure. Bring it back to technology. Yeah. My anxiety level just goes back up again. But I would have to say, oh gosh, I really don't like choosing a favorite, but I will say that in the regard of, for this reason, working with my real estate coach, she's not from here. She came here from Hungary with $10 in her pocket, and she built this incredible business. And then she kind of went through this whole experience of realizing how much money can one person have or should have, right? And this was her personal journey. These are her words. And she decided that she was going to take everything, this was about 20 years ago, everything that she learned in the real estate world, and she decided that she was going to focus on one type of client. And it just so happened that it was right around the time during the first bust, right? 2008, 2007, 2008. And what she was able to do with her knowledge, her goal as a realtor and real estate. Now, this is the key. Her heart led her to work with people who were about to lose their homes. Mm-hmm. And her job, she took it on, was how do you keep them from losing their home? Now, that's quite opposite of what most real estate people would be doing at that time. And she built this secondary platform for her business, and she's an expert at that, at how to look at all these options during the most critical times, the most adverse times in real estate. Like we're going to see a lot of that happening now and for a while. And she's about to retire. She's in her 70s, and she says, nope, she's dusting off her cape, and she knows that she can help people. So for that reason, the ability to take this empire that she built and flip it to give back to people that needed her expertise, and to me, that speaks volumes. That speaks from her heart. It speaks about her, who she is as a person, her character. She came from she came from a communist country and saw opportunity here in the United States, and she took it. And so in her heart, it's about giving back, which is what I was saying earlier when I was waiting for you. And this is what we're trying to do as well. It's the idea of, you and I both have super high level clientele. And the idea, for me anyway, that when I was starting out, if I had someone like us with resources and knowledge and tools and tips, that would have been so great. So that's what we're trying to do on the show, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me to the next question is, why do you coach other people? Like specifically you, from your perspective?
I enjoy it. I get to enjoy the benefit of showing someone and watching them grow. That really is what I like to do, and I like to see that's and I also, if I can help this person avoid the pitfalls and get from A to Z quicker with a shorter learning curve, why not? I can't just wait around and sit around in the back watching people struggle. If I have a shortcut for them, why not teach them the shortcut or show them the other ways of doing things, so that way they're not bumping their head into the walls too many times. Because, like you said, I wish I had somebody that can give me that opportunity. And I've had people that have actually taught me the shorter learning curves so that I can become better at what I do. So absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one 100%. And it looks like Veronica does as well. She says, be fearless and taking the opportunity someone told her. And recently she began to trust in herself. So, this is all tied into confidence, right? But we want to talk about all the peripheral things too. And we've talked about building your team that is going to help you succeed. This is why the best coaches and mentors have the best coaches and mentors. And, for me, one of the things that's important when I coach others is, like you, not only do I enjoy it, Mauricio, it's inherent in me. I have been this way my entire life, even when I was a kid. And sometimes to my own detriment, because I get so excited and involved, and I'm the champion for somebody else's project that, then I'm like, oh shoot, I got to work on my things. And I used to. I don't think that I do this like before, but I used to sort of overextend myself. I'm much, much better now, where I still have a hard time saying a hard no when someone needs my help, if I can help in some way, but I'm so much better at the boundaries. And I think that that's an important thing to remember as well. I think that boundaries are really good. I think that knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, like we've said on the show many times, you and I have a lot of answers between the two of us and individually, but we don't have all the answers. And so that's what we're also wanting to do for our viewers and people who are following our journey here together, is we want to be able to open some doors and make connections. I think that is one of the important things that is really a viable thing. Is not everyone is willing to open up their database or their Rolodex and share it with other people. I've encountered this many times, so it's not something that I'm imagining or making up. But you and I, we agreed on this 100% before we started this project, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. It's really hard when you get screwed over to want to open your book of contacts again, but we have to break that fear. We have to break that pattern, and we have to continue to move forward. It won't be the first or the last time we get hurt or betrayed or whatever, but it's just,
unfortunately,
it's just part of life, sadly. But what you do learn though from those experiences is you get to catch those kind of you can catch those vibes off of people, so to steer away from them. And as soon as you feel that you feel a pattern that, or you've been somewhere you've been before, hey, I gotta maybe step away from this. So, and I've, like you, I've had to learn now too as well to do some hard no's, because I get so involved in all these little pet projects, and then next thing I know, I'm falling behind, and all it takes is one night of of falling off, and then you get behind, and then when you're on a go, you got to be focused and you got to be dialed in, ready to go. I mean, this is a busy week, and there's no time for games right now, even for the things that we're working on, that I'm working on, and the demand that is being requested of me.
Exactly. So for folks that haven't been with us through this journey, this is our 8th week, as I mentioned. Why don't you and I both share with them? You go ahead and go first, but go ahead and share with them your background, your qualifications. And what I mean by that is, how is it that we've come to create this show? That was it people requesting information from you? Was it people requesting that you coach them? Like, how did you get into this lane? Because this is a very specific lane for some people. And some people, this is all they do. This is not the only thing that you and I do. We do several other things. But is it just a natural thing that you're in this lane now? Or, just tell us, if you wouldn't mind, just some of your qualifications for being a coach or a mentor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for me, this is a part of my life. This is my outlet now of how to give back. This, and then even my Wednesday shows, it's my outlet to reach out to people and share the knowledge that I have, because, and it's being recorded. It's live on Facebook. It's recorded and it's uploaded on YouTube. So I'm creating history, or I'm leaving something behind, so that if it ever helps anybody as well in the future, there's something there. But for me, the qualifications are my experience, my real life experiences. You can't fake it. You can fake it till you make it, but while you're faking it until you make it, you're learning, and you're being put through the test, so that when you do have that real life experience, you can actually fall back and say, oh, I've been there. I know what it feels like to lose a lot of money. I know what it's like to make a lot of money, or I know what it's like to make those mistakes. So you avoid them, and that's really what you're giving people, is real life experiences, because even though we're all unique, we all have their similar patterns. So there's similar things in business. There's income and expense. In any business, there's always going to be income and there's going to be expenses. Then you have to have your structures and your routines in order to continue to maintain it. One of my mentors that I have, he told me, he said, Mauricio, and this was a great quote. I actually wrote it down. He says, a story always has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that really just stayed in my mind, because that's really what it is we're sharing our stories, our lives, and everything has a beginning, and it has a middle, and then it has the end, the experience, and then you look back and you're like, okay, what did I learn? And that's the other part. You got to really look back and learn your lessons. I talk about it in my book, how I when I felt that success, I got so confident, overconfident, that also backfired on me, because I was running all the red lights, not paying attention. And I have another mentor of mine that says, Mauricio, you're going to run one of those red lights and you're going to get T-boned. And that's really when life T-boned me. I was like, okay, I got to slow down. I got to stop. I got to pay attention to the details. So, so I stopped running the red lights and I started paying attention. We have these little sayings, like, you don't go outside and wash the car in the rain, or, you don't rake the leaves in the wind. We use these analogies so they stay embedded in our head. So.
Yeah. Right. Well, I agreed with you 100%. I think I've inherently been doing coaching and mentoring my entire life, especially with children and especially in music. But this point in my life, after turning 50, has also added an extra element, because I was able to look back on the things that I've done. And, a lot of people don't know because this was another part of my life, but I actually worked as a behavioral coach for Edgewood Center for Children and Families. I was the liaison for the children in a specific school. And of course, I can't talk about the specific cases. It's been a while, but still, there's a privacy issue thing there. And that's a big, big element in the way that I do my work. But I was a behavioral coach. I worked as a music and development coach through my nonprofit, which was Peanut Butter and Jam Music Sessions for Kids. Again, children and music have been a majority of my focus. But from there, it was really interesting because all of that I was doing, and I also worked at San Francisco State with the multimedia department as a coach and a program manager and developing with my boss at the time. But that led me to start working in the entertainment business with some celebrities and musicians and artists as a personal coach. And the privacy thing is what has helped me since 1998 really explode this totally crazy, I never would have dreamt this career business, opportunity if I couldn't have imagined it, right? It just kind of fell into it. And it's very interesting because I've never had a website and it's all been word of mouth. And the reason, because of course I always want to learn all these things, like why did these things happen a certain way? Why are people coming to me? Why are they calling me? Why are they emailing? I mean, we're talking people that, first glance, they have everything together. They have it all. They're living incredible lives, and yet they want me to go with them on this trip for 2 weeks. Can I make it? They need me in Macau and Taiwan and China, and they need me to just focus on them. It's been Mauricio, I'm telling you, it's been so crazy. But the number one thing that I got from from all the feedback, the number one response is the fact that I'm discreet. Because I can tell you, I can write a book on some of the musicians and artists that I work with, but I never would. And so for my business, for that personal part of what I do, it's been an incredible insight of how, when you have that trust, and that's what I'm hoping that we're building here together, you and I, is the trust for everyone that watches us every week or when they watch the replay, is that we really want to help. And we're not perfect. We're going to make some, mistakes, and we're going to say some silly things sometimes, and we're going to rub people the wrong way, yada, yada, yada. It's all of that. But our intention, right, I think, speaks for itself. And we want to share our experiences and our knowledge and our resources and our networks. And that's what we're doing. Right. And that leads me to, some information for you, Mauricio, that you don't even know yet. But there's two things that I brought up this whole sort of private coaching thing that I do, is because I was so excited last night I couldn't sleep. So we're putting together a curated coaching camp. Now, I don't remember when you came and you actually sponsored our event in November over in Hayward, where we were doing this workshop retreat, right? So a lot of people, when they don't understand the way that my brain works, they're like, oh, what is she doing? Like, what? Well, I do things I have results that I want to capture with certain things. And some of it is, for example, I'll be straight up. If you are building a team or a band, for example, and you can have the greatest musician or the greatest coach or the greatest person that does whatever, but you don't jive with them and you don't gel with them and you're not on the same page, I'm sure this has happened to you, it will destroy the team, and it could destroy your project or your company or whatever it is that you're trying to build. So for me, bringing certain people together, it was my way of seeing, are we really in alignment? Because people then will reveal themselves. And I know that there's certain people that I want to work with from that event to bring them into this international, what I'm calling the traveling think tank, where we want to bring, it's invitation only. You know, it's going to be a curated group of people when we're able to travel. So we're talking about 2021, right? We're all going to come together and all these coaches are going to train each other. But what I was going to propose on this show and maybe your show is that we create 1 or 2 scholarships for our viewers where they get to come along and experience this coaching camp and hang and learn from all of these coaches, like little sponges from our viewership. So I would love to do that from our show and then leave it up to you if you would like to open it up to your show. And we'll put that curated invitation only list together, and we will all work together teaching each other the different modalities that different coaches are experts in.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. That's what that November little workshop has evolved into. So that's one reason I couldn't sleep last night. So that's that. And then in the next few weeks, and I know we should start wrapping up because it's been about 45 minutes soon, we're booking some really extraordinary coaches, mentors, advisors, entrepreneurs, musicians, artists that are going to come onto this show. And they're the experts in their fields. So I just kind of wanted to go through the list a little bit just to give a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
Next, we have Moni she's the founder at Moni Lane and Diamond Discovery. She offers spiritual discovery, network support, and business advice. It's focused on self-love, and get this, it's focused on confidence to be successful business owner. Now, you know her. Yeah. And I think we talked about her before. So Monique is going to join us next week. She's a real woman's woman. You know, she is the type of person that I love to work with, because when a woman is secure and confident in herself, there is no need to tear another woman down. Yeah. So I'm really excited that she's going to be here next week. And then I'm working on our executive level coach, Veronica. Veronica's somewhere here with us today. So we just have to set the date with her. But I've also got, am having conversations with Margot LeDuc. She's a vocal coach, the best of the best. We also are talking to TC, Tony Coleman. He was the drummer for B.B. King for over 32 years, and he's a drum coach. And he's also a mentor of mine and also a business partner of mine. So we're talking to different people from different areas because I want to make sure that we're as inclusive as possible and as diverse as possible. But we're also talking to, I missed someone. Oh, Will Calhoun, also the drummer and percussionist. He's an instructor and a coach, and he's with the band Living Color. Nice. So we're going to have like a really cool array of different people throughout the next few weeks. And I think the summer is going to be incredibly fun because this is supposed to be fun too.
Yeah, we got to, you know, we're transitioning now. I mean, we're in 2 weeks, we'll be in summer. And I think it's time that we take it up a notch. And also the world is opening up. You know, it's we're back in business, and we'll see what's going to happen. You know, we just got to continue to move forward and continue to strive for excellence. And we're gonna navigate through these rough waters one way or another. We're gonna make it happen. So
absolutely, I think that we're on the right path, and I'm just excited every Tuesday to do this show with you because I can see the evolution that's already happening, and it's happening a lot faster than I thought. One thing I forgot to mention, the traveling think tank thing that we're going to create together, it will be an international location because, you know, Chris, I've connected you with Chris, his hotel will be open by then.
Nice.
So I want to it's a small hotel. We want a small, intimate experience to start. And so we're going to just take over his place. So that's in the Yucatan Peninsula. So that's where we're going to head in first quarter. The plan is end of first quarter next year.
Nice. Let's do it. I'm in.
Okay. All right.
I'm in. Ready to get out of here for a minute. So,
Right,
well, good. I'm excited. I think the show is evolving. I think we are evolving. 8 weeks now. I mean, that's crazy. That's 2 months. It feels like it's been longer, but again, what I'd like to start seeing is people participate and start asking some questions and start getting involved. Sometimes we can keep it going, but we want people to ask the hard questions so that we can so that we can be with them as well. That's the only way they're gonna learn from us, and at the same time, it shows our ability to do stuff. So
yeah, no, absolutely, and I think too, for me, it's the technology part, when we can have someone that is helping us field, and I can jump back and forth, because I'm just not that good at talking and going back between screens, and then I lose my place, and then I'm afraid I'm gonna end the broadcast before we're done. And it's this whole stressful thing that happens in my head. But yes, we are definitely getting better. And I think with our guests that are going to be coming, I think it's going to open things up for people. And we do get a lot of questions afterwards. And I don't mind going through, every Tuesday night, that's what I do, is I go through the questions and I try to answer them as much, or the texts or the emails, because I know that I've been buzzing here a little bit. But
I love to read them too, and I like to put my little 2 cents on them. So it's pretty fun. So, well, good. I'm excited. Let's keep it going. Week number 8, and next week it's gonna be fun. So let's make it happen.
Yes, it is. But before we go, don't forget to tell everyone what your show is tomorrow.
Yeah. So tomorrow I have Mauricio. I do every Wednesday, Mauricio Mejia Live. Tomorrow I have a special guest here from the South Bay, Albert Campoy. And he's an entrepreneur, business person. He's a former nightclub owner as well, an operator. So we're gonna have some fun conversations. We're gonna talk a lot about the South Bay and the history of entertainment, and how entertainment got started and started growing here in the South Bay. So that's tomorrow, and then next week, the following week, I'm very excited about this one. I have Stedman Graham is going to be on, and we're going to be talking about identity, leadership, and the where we're at in today's world. So that's exciting because it's going to be live, and I hope people will be doing some questions, some Q&A in there, and
I will.
yeah. So I know it's funny. You'll see how the interaction between both of us is real fun and playful, and at the same time, we get down to business. So it's going to be fun. All the speakers that are coming up, I have a whole list. At the end of the month, I have Leanna Mendoza, who's going to be on the show, and then I've already started booking July and August.
That's awesome. Hey, and maybe Stedman might want to join us in Yucatan.
Yeah, possibly.
You never know.
Anything is possible. So good. Well, thank you so much, and then let's make it happen. Let's get it going for next week.
Yep, we sure will. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Sorry about the little technical issues. I'm sure it was all my fault, but we did it.
We're here. We got eight down, and we got a couple more 100 to go, so we're good.
That's right, and we'll see you all next week. We're here on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great night. Stay safe, secure, and as healthy as possible. We want to see you next week. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.